Hi fossil fans, this is a slideshow about the geology and fossils of Bognor Regis. In the past, Bognor was famous for its rocks and fossils from the London clay. Neither of them, however, are very obvious, but you never know, you may be lucky. Bognor Regis is located on the coast of the southwest of West Sussex. Once known for its fossils, it is now best known for its Butlins Holiday Centre. Here are some of the fossil shells which you can find, beautifully illustrated in the classic geology book by Frederick Dixon, which was published in 1850. The geology map shows Palaeogene strata dipping southwestwards from the chalk. This area of Sussex is a very flat coastal plain, so exposures of London clay and chalk are only seen along the coast. Even at low spring tide at Bognor, the London clay beds are often hidden under the beach sand. However, you may be lucky, particularly after a storm, and then you can see wide exposures of London clay. This detailed geology map shows the outcrop of the London clay strata along the foreshore. The London clay has 5 main divisions, named A to E. Only the lower divisions, A, B and C, outcrop at Bognor. The beds dip at about 2 degrees to the south-southwest. Here is a geological column drawn to scale of the London clay at Bognor. The most obvious bed is the Bognor Sand Member, the rocks of which, at low water spring tide, can be seen passing out to sea opposite Marine Park Gardens. The Harwich Formation, just below the London clay, crops out just west of Butlins, near the slipway. It's a glauconitic sandy clay with 2 lines of cement stone concretions. The lowest beds of London clay, seen near the bandstand, are cut by a quaternary channel of the former Rife stream. Here is a submerged forest of preserved tree trunks dating back about 7,000 years, which grew alongside the Rife. As we go west from the pier, the geology gets more interesting, with lower beds of ellipsoidal concretions and a higher bed of flat concretions. Between these beds you can find some thin beds of fossil shells, and also cement stone concretions, some of which are septarian, with veins of amber-coloured calcite. Between the bed of flat concretions and the Bognor rocks is a sandy glauconitic clay with occasional drifts of fossil shells such as pina and large fossil oysters. The Bognor rocks form a reef which can be seen at low spring tide striking about 1 kilometre out to sea to the southeast. The rocks are made of very hard calcareous sandstone. Small broken pieces, however, can be found which sometimes contain fossils. Here we see a pocket of masses of fossil bivalves, in this case Glycymeris bognoriensis. The best area for fossils is near the Mulberry Harbour. This is a wreck which is near Dark Lane. You can find more robust ones, like the circular worm tube Rotularia bognoriensis, in the nearby beach gravel. The base of Division B is marked by a thin fossil bed with black flint pebbles, and it's in this area that you can find fossil shark's teeth. Here are a selection of bivalves that you can find around the Bognor rocks, but you need to be lucky to find any. Here are some of the fossil gastropods with the serpulid rotularia, the shipworm teredo, and a lovely large nautilus, which if you're lucky you can find just beyond the Bognor Rocks. You need to look hard amongst the drifts of iron brighties lying on the clay beds to find fossil shark's teeth and other very small fossils. Further west, opposite the Bay Estate at Alwick, there are 7 beds of cementstone concretions. There are a few thin beds of fossil shells, but they are not often exposed. The Barn Rocks opposite Barrack Lane is another sand bed with sandstone concretions, and it occurs at the top of Division B. There are occasional fossils to be found within it. Bognor Rock was commonly used in the local area as a building stone in the past. It weathers to a rich brown colour as seen in the 13th century walls of South Burstead Church. Look out for fossils in the Bognor Rock building stone, seen in many old walls in Bognor.